Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I feel a little embarrassed to speak, especially in front of Dinabandhu Prabhu, who is the Parikrama Acharya. And to many Prabhupada's disciples here. However, we've been asked to do this service to speak on, so we will try. Amagyana timirandasya gyanangana salakaya chakshur unmilitamena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are here in Talavan, one of the 12 forests of Vrindavan. And I would say this is my first time here because we used to go to the Talavan, the Dauji Mandir, which is the place called Dauji, on the other side near Mathura. So on the way here, I was thinking I'm going in a different place, but Yadapati Prabhu, he sent us the location where we are right now. Who's translating this? So it's translation there? So we read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, or in the Krishna book of Srila Prabhupada, that this Talavan means forest where there are many tala trees. Tala means the trees of dates. Very sweet. Which sweets?
Tal fruit.
Tal fruit. Almost sweets, yes. Very, very sweet. Yes, and this place, in those days, about 5,000 years ago, there is a demon called Dhenukasura, and the fruits, they're very, very sweet. Somehow, Kangsha asked this demon, Dhenukasura, who is in the form of a donkey, that to guard this place because of this sweet fruit, tala fruit, that it's only meant for his own enjoyment. So one day, the cowherd boys, they asked Krishna and Balaram to please, would like to have these fruits. Because no one can even enter here because it's been guarded by Dhenukasura and his cohorts, other donkey friends of Dhenukasura. However, because the cowherd boys, they have always have almost an equal relationship with Lord Krishna. They play with Lord Krishna, they go on top of the shoulders of each other whenever they were playing and wrestling, that when they ask Lord Krishna, knowingly that Lord Krishna will fulfill their desires to come and take these fruits. So there is some symbols here, symbolizing that these tala fruits or this talavan is compared to the fruits of our practice of Krishna consciousness, that there's stopping us from be able to taste the fruits. There is that kind of Dhenukasura entity within all of us that we're not able to taste the fruits of our practice of bhakti. And that means the detachment that has to be there. And also we are full of false ego. We don't want to share our whatever we have. If we have material things or opulence, we don't share it. That means we're selfish, like Dhenuka. Dhenukasura, that means he's also not tasting the fruits himself. He's preventing others from tasting, and he himself also is not tasting the fruits. So they asked the cowherd boys to come here, and Krishna Balaram came, and Balaram, there are many demons that Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram killed. There's less. The Acharya says that between 2 or 3 demons is being killed every day by Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. But only few Lord Balaram killed demons. This one of them is Pralambasura, and here's Dhenuka also. It says that the demons that's been killed by Krishna and Balaram also signifies our anarthas, our unwanted, unnecessary desires that's deep-rooted within our hearts. So the Dhenuka Asura signifies our ignorance. Our ignorance. Like a donkey. Donkey is like that. They're considered to be the beast of burden. They're carrying heavy loads of laundry or whatever on their back for something to eat. And somehow, even though this is available everywhere, the green grass and so on, but they're thinking that without carrying this heavy burden, they'd not be able to eat. So similarly, we're carrying this heavy burden within all of us, these anarthas of ignorance and being attached to material things, not knowingly that by looking into spiritual path that we'll become fully satisfied, we'll be fully happy. So when they came here, Krishna and Balaram, in those days they're full of tala fruits that everywhere there are tala fruits being ripe, but then no one can taste it. And then Lord Balaram started to shake the trees. Lord Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but his purpose is to serve. So he is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. He's not different than Krishna himself. It's the first expansion, the bodily expansion of Lord Krishna. But his main purpose is to always serve Krishna. Therefore, this is also the function of the spiritual master. He is the Adi Guru. Balaram Tattva means Guru Tattva. It's like Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He is the Adi Guru. And the purpose of the spiritual master is to shake the disciples being in ignorance. So when they're being shaken by infusing transcendental knowledge, then the disciple will wake up and understand to be detached materially and get out of ignorance. That's confirmed. So the spiritual master is like we address Srila Prabhupada as divine grace. His divine grace. So divine grace means he's a representative, a pure representative of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord also is his divine grace. And the bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord is also his divine grace. They bestow blessings, they bestow mercy causelessly. They say costless mercy. And again, the main purpose of His divine grace is to help us get out of this material world for no cause at all, for no reason. He's giving blessings just to help us get out of these modes of material nature and to wake us up, to go back home, back to Godhead. So by shaking these trees of the tala fruits, then Dhenuka became very, very upset. Who dared to come and disturb my territory? So similarly, when the materialist is being shaken up by devotees, they will also complain, why are you disturbing me? I am enjoying the material energy. I'm enjoying so much. Why are you giving me so hard time? No. I don't need you. I don't want you. But nevertheless, when they understood the main purpose of the devotees, especially the spiritual master, to wake us up, then they'll be in gratitude, they'll be thankful, they'll be able to understand that, yes, I am in ignorance, let me get out of this place. So, Dhenuka, in the beginning, Dhenuka kicked Lord Balaram, and Lord Balaram also, well, he did not get hurt, but then he gave him a chance this one time. And he is very patient, that ultimately he'll be cut hold of Dhenuka's legs, the hind legs, and then he started to swirl him around, and then he released him, that even before he fell into another tala tree, he lost his life. So another symbolizing here is that when the Dhenukasura, he fell into one of these trees, and it becomes like a domino effect. That many trees also fell, that our karma is like this, that as long as we're in the material world, then we are also continuously accumulating more and more karma, reactions from our fruitive activities to enjoy the material world. And ultimately, again, it is by the divine grace or the mercy, the blessings of the spiritual master, that will be able to get release from the cycle of repeated birth and death. So then after that, many demons or donkey friends of Dhenukasura also were killed by Krishna and Balaram, one by one. So as we mentioned earlier, Lord Balaram also, he killed few demons. And the Acharya says that these demons that Lord Balaram killed, he helped us to become relieved from those anarthas. But we also have to ourselves do our part to get rid of those anarthas. Unlike Lord Krishna, when he killed these different demons like Putana, Agasura, Trinivarta. These demons, Lord Krishna can relieve us, even without so much efforts from our side. However, when these demons that were killed by Lord Balaram, we have to endeavor ourselves also. If we want to get out of this material world, then we have to work hard. We have to work hard, we have to get rid of our material desires, we have to get rid of our false ego. If we want to be released, we cannot be so attached. Prabhupada gave an example, just like a person who wants to be released from the tree And he's keep on holding and he's asking for help. Get me out of this tree. But you're still hugging the tree. So how can you be released? You have to let go of the tree, and then the devotee or the spiritual master who's helping us become free, detached from our material desires, then we can easily be getting out. So we should not hold on. This Dhenukasura is this. He's holding on to the fruits. That means we should not hold also of the results of the practice of our bhakti. We have to share it to others by giving knowledge through chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or sankirtan, or books, preaching. We were telling that the other day that yes, we should be proud to be devotees, but being proud and not giving Krishna consciousness to others, that means it is not proper. It is not proper. We'll become proud that our false ego will overpower us. So being proud in Krishna consciousness, Hare Krishna. Did I do something? Hari Hari? I think. Okay. Being proud in Krishna consciousness means we also spread Krishna consciousness to others. Otherwise we become Dhenukasura. Otherwise we'll become Dhenukasura. So after killing the Dhenukasura, Krishna and Balaram, along with their coward boyfriends, they enjoyed the fruits, and they also distributed the fruits for all the Brajabasis, to everyone. To everyone. Everyone was so happy, except Kamsa. Because then he was not able to enjoy everything for himself. The materialists are like that. They just want everything for themselves, even though they cannot fully satisfy themselves with what they have. This is very important. Devotees, they may live very simple, but because they have Krishna, they can give Krishna to everyone, and therefore they are fully satisfied. They are happy. If one has Krishna, he has everything. If one doesn't have Krishna, he does not have anything. So devotees are like this. And we should try as much as possible distribute the tala fruit to others by giving them Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful katha. So, devotees are requested, please hear carefully, and we will do one competition. So, very soon we'll give you one form, so you have to fill up all these things. So then one day we'll announce, then you will give your exam. So the last day we'll give you prize. Okay? So now we are going to hear from our Parikrama Acharya, Dinabandhu Prabhu, about the Talvan.
Is there still a tall tree here in the courtyard?
Yeah, there is two, and there is one, and this side is...
I saw 5 over here, outside the temple. But there used to be one right here. Still there? I can't see because of the columns. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Savadandiyam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarubhishta kripa sindhu vevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So the first time I came here to Talvan, many years ago, that was first time I ever came to Vrindavan, 1974. Where that entrance is, that was about the same size as the entrance is now. That was the temple. It was there, it was broken down, small little temple. Then later, very wonderful Pujari was here, Priyasaran Baba. And he got this nice carved stone temple made here. Then our dear Govindaram, now the Pujari is Govindaram, he made a nice altar and everything. Now they decided they're going to make even better altar. So the deities are over here now, but we see the deities here. But he said they're working on making some nice doors for the temple. So if you want to give nice donation, because it's been a long time, I haven't seen the deities back in their spot. And so hopefully in the future we'll see very beautiful, now they've made brand new altar rooms, so in the future we'll see the deities here on this place. And in the old days, we never knew what a tall tree was, just like we thought it was just like a date tree. But if you see the tall trees, they're like fan palms. They're not like date palms or coconut palms. They're like fan palms, like this. And they have if you look closely, I don't know if we'll see, there's a male part and a female part. There's a big stem comes like this, and it fertilizes all of the fruits. And the fruits, they're about this big. They look very dark. They start out very dark purple, like an eggplant, like a big barrel-shaped eggplant. And then gradually they turn bright orange with little purple highlights. And they're very sweet. And I noticed that the tall fruits only come in the rainy season. By the end of, we're playing in Govardhan on the west of Talavan. So they were coming this way from the western side. And like one time, we came here, and some of the fruits were still there on the tree. So immediately Priyasarani sent one of his disciples up, and they cut down the fruits and they made nice juice, because they're like almost like mango, but very sweet and very stringy. So they made juice out of them, and everybody was pouring out their bish lahari. Bish means poison, and laher means wave. So everybody was emptying out their bish lahari and filling up their bottles with tal juice, and we were all drinking wonderful tal juice. So anyway, Brishvasi children, 24 hours a day they're hungry. So all the cowherd boys, they smelled. They were on the western side, and the wheeze was coming from the east, and they were smelling these wonderful tal fruits. So they went to Krishna and Balaram. Krishna Mahabaho, Rama, something Nibarana. Oh, Krishna with the strong arms, and Balaram who frees us from all demons. We're all hungry, because the Brishvasi boys 24 hours a day they're hungry. So, and this nice fragrance of the tal fruits is coming. So Krishna, he looked at Balaram and winked at him. You do it. Because it must be in one of the Puranas, because it's not in Srimad Bhagavatam. But one of after Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu, one of his one of the requests that Prahlad made was, you don't kill anybody in my family. So we'll hear there was a fellow named Sahasik. And he went with a beautiful Apsara named Tilotama. Now somebody explained to me Tilotama, what it meant, but I've forgotten. But she was exquisitely beautiful. So they were enjoying in the Nandankanan, the forest of the demigods. But at the same time, our friend Durvas Rishi, he was also meditating there. So all their rascal pastimes, disturbed his meditation. So he came there, he said, you're just like an ass. Huh? So you will become an ass. You will stay here in this forest of Talvan for 4 lakhs of years. And then Balaram will come and liberate you. And then he cursed Tilotama. And she became, do you know? Anybody knows? Tilotama became one of the daughters of Banasura, named Usha. We all know Usha and Aniruddha. So Sahasik, he was a descendant of Prahlad Maharaj. So Krishna can't kill him because he promised Prahlad that he won't kill any of his family members. So he looked at Balaram. So Balaram came, big strong Balaram, Bal means strength. You can go to that tall tree there, and with your both hands you try to shake it. Not even a millimeter you can move. What to speak of centimeter, you can't even move it for a millimeter. Balaram came, and he grabbed the tall tree, and he began to shake it like this. And all the tall fruits came down. So there was a great demon that Sahasik, he became the demon Dhenukasura, who was an ass. And asses, we see, they have big long ears, so so they can hear. So he heard all the fruits falling down. Who's bothering my fruit forest? Because he was conquered by King Kamsa and became a slave of King Kamsa. So he was watching over this Talavan and making sure that all the tall fruits would go to Kans. And that no Brishbasi, no Vaishnava, no devotee would ever taste those fruits. They were all going to King Kams. So Krishna, he winked at Balaram. So Balaram, he shook that tree, and Dhenukasura came, and first thing he did was he turned his back to Balaram. Now, we never put our back to the deities or the spiritual masters. We never put our backs to any respectable personality. It's so amazing that even though this is Vedic culture, but we see everyone immediately comes and puts their back in front of the deities and takes their selfie. They're completely forgetting their culture, So then he began to kick on Balaram's chest. But Balaram, he felt these kicks just like when we throw roses at the deities, just like one day on our main festival we're going to have Pushpa Abhishek, So just like that, he was feeling this Dhenukasura's kicks, just like flowers. So he grabbed the demon by the hind legs, and he spun him around and around and around and around. And as Maharaj said, his life hair came flying out of his body. And he threw him into a tall tree. That tall tree smashed into another one, and another one. Bang, 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 bang. Then Bhagavatam says, Krishna cha Brahmacha. Then all the other ass demons came. First they attacked Krishna, then they attacked Balaram. So the acharyas, they say that could be that they saw how powerful Balaram was, so they said, better we attack Krishna first. So it says very clearly, Krishna cha Brahmacha. First Krishna, then Balaram. And they threw them into the tops of all the tall trees. Bing, 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 bing. And, asses, some of them are gray, some of them are white, some of them are in between, So it all looked like different colored clouds were in all the tal trees. And there was a big bloody mess here, so that day the boys didn't eat any tal fruits, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, but it's rainy season. So, the Pulindas, the tribal girls, they came and collected all those contaminated fruits and washed them up and ate them. But since it was rainy season, in a couple of days, the nice rains come in the rainy season, all the blood and mess was washed away, and then all the Brishbasis started coming here and enjoying these tal fruits. And Kamsa suddenly noticed that his supply of tal fruits had been cut off. He became very upset. So, as Maharaj said, he represents ignorance, gross ignorance. It's mistaking the body for the self. This is our biggest problem. I'm completely 100% convinced that I'm my body. I have no doubt anymore. But this is total ignorance. So ignorance is always the ass, because the ass, he's called Vaisak Nandan. Just like now it's getting a little hot. But the next season that comes is called Vaisak. This is called Madhu, Chaitra. Very nice. But next season is Vaisak. It becomes very, very hot. Well over 40 degrees, whatever. I don't know, I'm a centigrade well, that's over 100, I guess, for Fahrenheit well is. Up to 127 degrees it goes. So in everybody else is suffering, but the asses become very happy because that time it's very dry, so there's only a little bit of grass here and a little bit of grass there, and they eat some grass here, they go down the road, they find some more grass, and they go down the road and they find some, and they look back and they say, wow, I went so far, I must have eaten so much grass. And he becomes very happy. And we see happy people, just like if you know our Sarvabhaum, happy, jolly people, they become a little fatty, So he becomes very fat. So he's called Vaisak Nandan. He's very happy in the dry. Everyone else is suffering. The ass is very happy. Then the rainy season comes and there's grass everywhere. And the ass, he begins to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And he looks back and he says, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't eat anything today. And we see worried people, he becomes very worried. And worried people, they become very scrawny. He becomes very sickly in the rainy season. And as Maharaj was saying, he's carrying heavy loads, sometimes laundry, sometimes sand, sometimes bricks. And he's walking all day long in the grass. On either side of the road is grass. But he's thinking, if I don't work hard, how can I eat grass? He's walking through the grass all day long, but he's thinking, if I don't work like this, and then he gets a little grass. Then you read about all these things in Prabhupada's books, but we can come here to Vrindavan, we can see them in front of our eyes. The asses carrying bricks and sand and big bolts of laundry, and sometimes. Of course, now it's become a big city, you won't see anymore, but sometimes we'll go in the village and you'll see the ass comes up behind the she-ass and boom! She just kicks him right in the face. And it's the most amazing scene. He just got his lips smashed against his teeth and he's going, and then he comes again and pop! Oh, because this is a little hollow, it's a hollow sound. So this is the foolish ass. So here we see in the temporary temple, big tall deity of Dauji. In Brij Bhasa, Dao means older brother. So in Braj, everybody calls him Dauji. Bolo Sri Dauji Maharaj ki jai. And you see a little tiny Kanaya. And then on the left side we see Revati. Revati, she's not actually part of Braj Leela. She's actually from Dwarka Leela. But some devotee has decided to put Revati here. But actually in Gujarat there's a place called Raivat. There's a big tall mountain called Raivat. And the king there, he was Raivat Maharaj. And he had a very, very, just like me, he had a very, 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 very beautiful daughter. And she was the daughter of Raivat, so she was Revati. And Raivat Maharaj, he was very, very, very attached to his daughter. And he wanted to get her married to a proper husband, because if a father can't find a proper husband for his daughter, then he'll suffer for the rest of his life. And he wasn't satisfied. He was so attached. He interviewed so many people. And he wasn't satisfied with anyone to give his daughter to. So finally he decided, all right, let me go talk to Lord Brahma. He knows the whole creation, who's the best person. So we went up to Lord Brahma, Brahmaloka. And in Brahmaloka, just like as soon as you go to your GBC, your temple president, right, there's a big sign, meeting, do not disturb. And our friend Murphy, we were talking about him yesterday, we have a sage in America named Murphy. He says a meeting is an event where minutes are kept and hours are lost. So, and what Raivat Maharaj didn't understand, because they already knew about the theory of relativity 5,000 years ago, because Brahma was on a different time scale and Earth is on a different time scale. They knew all these things. So we know that in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, Brahma went away for a moment. A whole year went by. Now a meeting was going on. Hours went by. So, when he finally, said, Brahma came and said, come in. He brought him into his office and Raivat Maharaj started explaining his problem. And Brahma began to laugh. He says, not funny. He said, no. Now, everyone you're talking about, they've died. Their children have died. Their children have died. Nobody even remembers the names of the people you're talking about. You started out in Satyug. Now it's the end of Dwapar Yuga. But don't worry. When you get back to Earth, it will be the end of Dwapar Yuga. And in Dwarka, there's a very, very handsome fellow named Baladev. He's the perfect person to marry your daughter, Revati. So when he came back, then he saw all the trees were small, the cows were small, the people were small, everything was small. Yeah? Because he left in Satyug, he came back, it's the end of Dwapar Yuga. And so he went there to Dwarka, and he met Balaram, and he proposed to Balaram, and Balaram looked at this big girl from Satyuga. Now in India, we always try to make sure that the husband and wife, they're matching, the same caste, same economic status, same color, and just like our poor Pujari at Brindakun, he got freaked out. We had a very wonderful friend of mine named Krishna Chaitanya from London. He's so black that even the nighttime looks like daytime. And his wife, his then wife Jamuna, she was so white that even the snow looks like coal. And my Pujari looked, they're a couple? Nobody in India would make a match like that. So Balaram, he looked at this big tall girl, they're not matching properly. So he put his plow on Revati's shoulder and brought her down to size and then married her. So she's actually not part of Braj Leela, but she's here anyway. So some devotee has put her there. So we already told he was Sahasik. Huh? So Sri Dauji Maharaj ki, Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai, Revati Maharani ki jai, Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'm very happy to see. We were looking on side of the temple. There's about 4 or 5. If we go around this side, this big, huge kund is called Sankarshan Kund, named after Balaram. So we can go out and we can, what's the next program? I'll let him do it. Anyway, we'll go out to the side here in a minute and we'll see the whole, there's a nice ghat. You can take some water on your head. You can jump in if you want. So now we've come to one of the the smallest of the 12 forests of Vraj. Kumudvan. Kumud or Kumudini is a red lily. Now we don't see any lilies here at all. And one of the names of this kund behind us is Padma Kund. And Padma, of course, many of you know, means lotus. We don't see any lotus flowers here either. But anyway, there used to be so many beautiful Kumudini flowers in this kund 5,000 years ago. And Krishna and the cowherd boys used to come here grazing their cows, and they would sport in this Padma Kund. They have a grand old time. On the other side, the kund, way on the other side, that is called Ganga Sagar Tirth. That's not different from Ganga Sagar, where the Ganges empties into the Bay of Bengal. And they say, just like just over here on the other side of this temple, there's a little temple of Kapil Muni, son of Kardama Rishi and Devahuti, Kapila Rishi. So Kapila Rishi, he sat here in this beautiful Kumudvan doing his bhajan on the banks of Padma Kund, so he's also here at this place. And first time I came here, there was just a tiny little temple for Kapil Rishi, and this temple was not here. The Gaudiya Math where we took prasadam, that was also not here. Just this nice kund was here. And we used to jump in this kund, and the bottom is completely black. As soon as we started splashing, all the water became black. And we used to grab that mud and smear it all over our whole bodies and just stand in the sun and let it dry out. You know, in the West you pay hundreds of dollars to do this, but here you can do it for free. In fact, we took a picture. We were all completely covered with black, so we took a picture like this. And some interesting trees of here. Of course, here we have a banyan tree, very small banyan tree, with many, many branches. Actually, in Sanskrit, we call it vat, just like you've heard Bamsi vat or Shringar vat. So we call Bhatt or Bargat, both of these names. Do you know how it became known as banyan tree? One time, I found a big book on Indian trees this big, and I found out the story. That during British times, the Britishers noticed that all the shopkeepers would keep their push carts and make their little shops in the shade of the banyan tree, and this particular type of tree. So in ISKCON, we know the mercantile class of people, they're called Vaishyas. But in India, we call them Baniyas. Almost like bank, Baniya, bank. Because before there was banks, we used to keep our money with the Baniya, and he would play with it and make some interest and give us some interest. So the British used to call it the Baniya tree. And slowly became banyan tree. It was a big book like this, so it's not a joke. This is a story how it became known as banyan tree. Because we call it Bhatt or Bargat. And right in front of me is a very small kadamba tree. Now, we mentioned the other day, kadamba, of course, in Sanskrit means group. Because it's not one flower. You can see the seed pods from last year's bloom are still there in the tree. See those little round balls, huh? So it's a whole ball of flowers, just the color of Srimati Radhika. And very, very beautiful fragrance. Krishna just loves this fragrance. In fact, this tree, you see the bark is also very light color. So this tree, a kadamba tree, is representative of Srimati Radharani. And you've seen in our courtyard, we have a tamal tree. And just now the fresh leaves are coming. It's an interesting tree. All others lose their leaves in the wintertime. But the tamal trees right now, they're losing all their leaves here in the springtime. But the new fresh leaves are coming. And Krishna's fingers, sometimes in Goswami literature, they use the word palav. Palav means freshly grown leaf. If you go there in the courtyard of our temple and you find out some freshly grown tamal leaves, just feel how soft. Of course, it's a material thing, but you can get some idea what Krishna's touch is like. In fact, I showed this to one devotee who was there at 26 2nd Avenue, because probably nobody remembers the devotee who first showed us how to put on tilak. I don't think you remember. But 26 2nd Avenue, there's only one person who knew how to put on tilak. That was Prabhupada. And he said, when I showed him the leaf, he said, that's exactly what Prabhupada's finger felt like. So tamal trees, you see it's black and it's crooked. And the gopis, when they're looking for Krishna, they have tears in their eyes. So they can't see straight. They just see something that's black and crooked, and they embrace the tamal tree. So tamal tree is representative of Krishna. If by chance somewhere you see a tamal tree and a kadamba tree, we'll see when we go to Bandirvan, there's a tamal tree and a kadamba tree growing together. That's like getting sakshat darshan of Radha and Krishna. And kadambas, they come in pairs. There's a male kadamba and there's a female kadamba. The one in our courtyard is a male kadamba. Just now in a couple of weeks, as soon as April starts, then we'll see tiny, tiny little off-white, bell-shaped, tiny little flowers, very, very fragrant, thousands and thousands of them coming on the tamal tree, but very small ones. And where we're building our new project, there used to be another kadamba tree, another tamal tree there, but its flowers were very big, and after the flowers fall off, a little bead was there, a little green bead. It'll grow green and bigger and bigger. Then in Kartik time, they turn bright orange. If you know where to look in the Goshala, we have one. So many, somehow the monkeys have left it alone. So many, just near the VIG. Actually, it's just before, if you're going down the road to the VIG, just before you get to the Samadhi Garden, the Samadhi Garden is way on the other side, but just before you'll see a tamal tree there, and you'll see filled with little orange fruits. That's a female tamal tree. The male ones are called sham tamal, and that's just or regular tamal. And then we have another tree here. When Krishna saw a tree like this, he asked his mother Yasoda, he said, Maya, Are Maya, what kind of tree is this? What's leaf has got a tail? Are Maya, what kind of tree is this? What's leaf has got a tail? Maya, ye kanki peri, jiske pate ki punche Maya. Ye kanki peri, jiske pate ki punche Maya. And Mother Yasoda looked, and you see his leaf is shaped just like a little heart. And comes down to a little tail, punch. We say punch in Hindi. And as soon as a little bit of breeze is there, they're twirling around, you see? This is peepal tree. This is peepal tree. And peepal tree and banyan trees are very special for the environment. Because we learned in our botany class that the trees give off oxygen in the daytime and carbon dioxide in the nighttime. But banyan trees and peepal trees, they give off oxygen 24/7. So they're very special for the environment. And there's a whole row of trees here on the other side of the wall. I can't remember the name. But you see it has these little brown pods hanging down. If you take those to the Goshala and show them to the cows, it's like you brought a gulab jamun. They just love those pods, those brown pods. They love them like anything. And the green leaves, they love like anything. I've forgotten the name of this tree. They grow very quickly. They told me in Madhya Pradesh this is what they feed their cows like this, with these leaves and these pods. So now I just heard we're going to get a bonus today, because not far from here is another special place that we go on Vraj Parikrama called Santanu Kund. Shall I tell that pastime here? There's a temple all around this. It's on top of a big hill. All around the hill there's a moat. There's water all around this hill. On the other side, we'll have to go to the backside, and there's a little bridge across, and then a stairway up to that temple. And that's Santanu Kund. And there in that temple is a beautiful deity, the Santanu Bihari. And we remember Maharaja Santanu. So, yeah, Bhishma Pitama's son. Huh? Father. Oh, that's right. Santanu is. That's right. Okay, now. Sometimes after COVID, my brain gets funny. I mix things up. So the Pujari there says that Maharaj Santanu, he performed for 60,000 years. They can't explain in Dwapar Yuga, everybody had lived for 1,000 years. But anyway, they claim that for 60,000 years, Santanu did tapasya there to get a son. And when Krishna finally appeared, he told him, I want a son like you. And Krishna said, there's nobody like me. But I'll give you somebody close. So he became the son. His son came, Bhishma Pitamaha, who was very, very powerful. So this is a very interesting temple. You go way on top of, all around is water, and way on top is a very beautiful deity of Radha Santanu Bihari. A very sweet little place there. So, and of course on our far, on this reddish building, of course this is one of the Betaks of Ballavacharya. Ballavacharya went all over Braj, and he sat and lectured on Srimad Bhagavatam. So wherever he sat, they've made a sitting place there. So that's one of the sitting places of Ballavacharya, who's coming from Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, one of the 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas.
Tamarind tree.
Huh?
Tamarind tree. The tree you want to know.
Tamarind tree? I don't see any tamarind trees here.
I thought that one.
No, this is the one that the cows love. It has leaves like a tamarind tree, but it's not tamarind. They're huge. These are small. You can see very thin branches. Tamarind trees are very great big trees. And this one here that looks like a hippie with all his hair all over the place. This is a foreign sticker tree. We have a native sticker tree, thorn tree. In American English, we call it sticker, because it sticks you, you know. But you probably know thorn better. That's more proper English, thorn tree. But our local thorn tree has some grace. Sometimes, if you're coming from Delhi, you'll see one tree is sort of dancing like this way, another tree is dancing that way, another tree has both arms raised going, Haribo, Haribo. Or maybe he's saying, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. I used to notice that suddenly when we're coming from Delhi on the train and we got to Braj, and all the trees are dancing. They have some grace. But somebody brought this tree because they grow very fast. You can chop it down to the ground and it'll still grow back. So it's great for firewood for the villagers. But it's uncontrollable, just like a hippie. You see its hairs all over the place. So this is we call babul. This is the In Bengali we say Belaiti Babul. In Hindi we say Bideshi Babul. With lots and lots of thorns. They're just practically useless except for firewood. Oh yeah, and of course here we have our neem tree. They're everywhere. It says if you live underneath the neem tree, then no mosquitoes will come and bother you. And you shouldn't suffer from, if you live near a neem tree, you shouldn't suffer from any type of disease. Very, very special. So that's about all I can say about this place. We don't come here very often. Other side is, I said that, Ganga Tirtha. Ganga Sagar Tirtha is on the other side of the Kund there. The Maharaj want to say something?
This is called Padma Kund.
Yeah, Padma Kund, Bihar Kund, Kamud Kund.
I read that if you take a bath or you sprinkle water on your head, you will also realize the Vedic scriptures soon.
I guess that's why Kapil Rishi is here. Actually, we hardly see any lotuses anymore, because a lot of the kunds are connected to the Jamuna canals. And lotuses can only grow in unpolluted water. So everywhere I knew in Vraj where there used to be lotus flowers, and here I never saw, but some places on Vraj Parikrama, we used to see tons of lotus flowers. Now we hardly see them. Just we know one secret place near Kokilavan called Pandav Ganga, and there you can see lotus flowers. You can see so many trees there. It's a very special place. On the way to Kamyavan, the Pandavas stopped there, and it was the day of the Ganga Sagar. We were talking about the Ganga Sagar Tirth. It was the day of the Ganga Sagar. So Draupadi wanted to take bath in Ganga. So Arjun shot an arrow, and Ganga appeared in that place. So one sadhu has been living there for 20 years, and every tree you can imagine, sandalwood tree, rudraksha trees, every type of creeper, malati, madhavi, everything he's got, and even has lake full of lotus flowers. If you want to, the only other place I saw so many lotus, of course, when you're traveling on a train in Orissa, then you see everywhere you see lotus flowers. And other place we saw lotus flowers was in Kashmir. We saw a lake that was just as far as you could see lotus flowers. But most of the places in Vraj, because they're all fed by the Jamuna canals, and unfortunately, the situation of Jamuna, they've all died out. One of the pujaris here tells a story that, see, one of the things that we heard about the Brahma Vimohan Leela, one of the things that bewildered Lord Brahma was that Krishna took a bite of his laddu and he gave it to one of his friends. He said, just see what nice laddu my mother Yasoda made. Did they teach you that in Bhakti Vriksha class? That you bite your laddu and give it to your friend? And Madhamangal, he bit his laddu. He said, oh Lala, just see what type of laddu my maya made. Huh? If we find the pujari eating the Mangalarti sweets before offering them, we'll take a stick and beat him out of the temple. So Brahma was just bewildered. Is this some ye Bhagwan here, or this is some Gwalka Banahui Bhagwan? This is some Bhagwan made by the cowboys. What is this? So he got bewildered. When he finally came to his senses, he realized what a fool I was. Krishna was biting the laddu and giving it to his friend. You all have your altars at home. You offer everything to your deity, right? Did you ever see him eat? We never saw. Prabhupada told us that you say the prayers, you put tulsi leaf and Krishna eats, but we never saw him eat. Now in front of their eyes, Krishna's taking bite of that laddu, giving to his friend. This is a real Mahaprasad. He said, what a fool I was. But he's Brahma, how can he go and before Krishna and get some Mahaprasad like that, you know? So one day Krishna and the cowboys were having a picnic here in this place. So Brahma took the form of the turtle in the Kund here. Because he knew after Krishna finishes eating that he'll go to the Kund and wash his hands. But Krishna, he's in everyone's heart. He knows what you're thinking. So he knew what Brahma was thinking. So he went to the Kund, he took some water out of the Kund with his clean hand, and he washed his hand over the dirt. Because if you want to get Braja Prem, you have to become a follower of the Brijvasis. And we're very fortunate because we have the most dear Brijvasi as our spiritual master, our grand spiritual master. Because Prabhupada, he spread the fame of Vrindavan all over the world. I just went all the way down to the southernmost country on the planet, in Chile. And people are chanting Hare Krishna and worshipping Krishna there and thinking about Vrindavan. Prabhupada he's the most dear Brijvasi, and we're so fortunate to be his followers. So definitely we'll get Braja Prem, we have no doubt. It's even Brahma couldn't get. But we'll get by following Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
What is the significance of Kapil Muni here?
Just he had his ashram here, and he was, like he said, by bathing in this Kund, you get all knowledge. So there he was able to present this theistic Sankhya philosophy for us. And this little, Kumudvihari, they say, this temple here. This was not here, but you can see there's a big sign there. There was one fellow in Mathura named Sriji Baba who did Bhagavad business. But he was one of these guys, I never saw anybody else. He made lots and lots of money, but even if you go to a tiny, tiny village in Braj, you'll find he's made some temple there or done something there. Everywhere I've been in Braj, you see Sriji Baba Mathura Wale, Gacharan Seva made this temple and like that, all over. This tiny little village, this beautiful little temple here of Kamud Bihari. Yes?
Thank you, Pavan Gopal. Hare Krishna. Dinabandhu Prabhu, thank you for your class, nice class. So, the Brahma Vimohan Leela, wasn't it that Brahma got bewildered because Krishna was eating a morsel of rice with his left hand? Just, wasn't it?
I never heard that.
Yeah, and he was eating, and Brahma thought...
It just says that he had a lump. I always thought it was right hand.
Morsel of rice with his left hand.
He had flat rice.
Yes.
And yogurt.
Yes. And he was eating...
And it says fruit. Bhagavatam says phalam.
Yeah.
Now the Brijvasis, they explained to me, there's another tree here in Braj. He grows, you won't find one single leaf. If we run into one, I'll show you. Not a single leaf, just green twigs and very, very sharp thorns. We call it kareel. And just before Kartik, these beautiful reddish orange flowers come on the kareel bush. And it looks like a fountain. It's like a fountain, a spray of orangish reddish flowers. This may have been the burning bush that our Moses saw. Because that place is also very dry like here, so maybe that's what he saw was a kareel tree. And then during Kartik, these little green fruits come. A little bit bigger than a pea and a little round seed inside. And the Brijvasis make a pickle with it. That fruit is called tenti. The Brijvasis say Kabul kamewa and Braj katenti. It says Kabul has dry fruit and in Braj we have tenti. So if you ever eat at a Brijvasi's house and there's this pickle there that looks like a little bit bigger than green peas, that's tenti achar. We're always we go from village to village begging for roti and tenti achar. So they told me that's their favorite, chipped rice, yogurt, and this tenti achar. Bhagavatam just says phalam, but the Brijvasis, they told me. So that's what Brahma saw, that Krishna had this chipped rice, yogurt, and this tenti achar, and that yellow mustard oil was dripping between his blue lotus light fingers. That's what Lord Brahma saw. I don't know. I never heard that it was left hand, but but he really got bewildered because he saw the cowherd boys were taking bite, and he's handing to Madhamangam, and Madhamangam was taking bite, handing to Krishna. We never learned this in Bhakta class. We should take bite and hand to our friends. I'll do some more research, but I never heard it was left hand.
Yeah.
Only time I know Krishna was using left hand was when Krishna took a form of Govardhan Hill. He sat down and he looked at all this bhoga, and then because he's just a little boy, he doesn't know with his right hand, with his left hand. So you can see in the Jamastan they have a picture with Govardhan, Krishna sitting on top of Govardhan Hill with dozens of right hands and dozens of left hands, and he's eating all the bhoga. It was so much bhoga, he just manifests dozens of left and right hands to eat it all. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is there any significance of worshipping the people tree? People worship people tree generally, we have seen.
I don't know, the villages, they have some things. I don't know what it is, but it also, as I recall, it represents Lord Vishnu or something. So I think we should get off to Santanu Kund before it starts getting hot.
So now we are here in Santanu Kund. We are taking darshan of beautiful darshan of Sri Radha Santanu Bihari. So today just हम अभी राधा शांतनु बिहारी का दर्शन कर रहे हैं. तो जो हिंदी भाषी लोग हैं कुछ कंप्लेन कर रहे हैं कि हमारे लिए हिंदी का कोई ट्रांसलेशन नहीं हो रहा है. सबके लिए एक अलग से हिंदी का ट्रांसलेशन के लिए रखा जाएगा या साइमल्टेनियसली हम ट्रांसलेशन करेंगे. अभी जो महाराज बोलेंगे ना तो हम उसको ट्रांसलेट कर देंगे. तो आज हमने दर्शन किया हिंदी भाषी लोगों के लिए. आज हमने दर्शन किया पहले श्री श्री दाऊजी महाराज तालवन में, जहाँ पर भगवान दाऊजी ने धेनुकासुर को वध किए थे. उनका कथा आपने सुने और उनका हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन भी हम साइमल्टेनियसली किया जा रहा था, साथ ही साथ हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन हो रहा था. उसके बाद हम आके दर्शन किए कुमुदवन. कुमुदवन को गंगा सागर तीर्थ भी कहा जाता है, जहाँ पर हमने सुने कि किस प्रकार गोपियों का इच्छा था कि गंगा सागर तीर्थ का दर्शन करने के लिए, तो भगवान उसके लिए प्रकट कराए गंगा सागर को. तो गंगा सागर में कपिल मुनि ने भजन किए थे, उनका आश्रम भी हमने दर्शन किए और साथ ही साथ महाप्रभु के चरण कमल को भी दर्शन किए. तो अभी हम अंतिम पड़ाव पे है परिक्रमा के सतोहा गांव में, जिसको सतोहा पड़ा शांतनु कुंड. और यहाँ पर जो कथा है हमारे साथ परम पूज्य जनार्दन स्वामी महाराज है, तो वो कथा सुनाएंगे. नाउ वी आर हियर इन शांतनु कुंड. We hear a few words from His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swami about this place and also about Santanu Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So it's a great austerity to come here.
ये बहुत ही तपस्या है कि यहाँ पे आने के लिए.
We have to climb up. Not all the places are like this.
आपको चढ़ना पड़ा, मगर ब्रज में हर एक जगह ऐसा नहीं है.
Well, there are some few places like in Nandagram and also in Varsana. You have to climb up.
कुछ जगह ऐसे है जहाँ पर हमको सीढ़ियों चढ़ना पड़ता है, जैसे नंदगांव और बरसाना.
So Santanu Maharaj is very, very famous. He is the one who shaped up the Kuru dynasty.
शांतनु महाराज बहुत प्रसिद्ध है, जिसने कि कुरु वंश को रक्षा किए थे.
Yes. He's from Chandravamsa, lunar dynasty.
वो चंद्रवंश से थे.
So Santanu's father is Pratipa, a righteous ruler of Hastinapur.
अब जानते हो कि हस्तिनापुर में पहले इसी चंद्रवंश में प्रतीप महाराज थे. उनके पुत्र है शांतनु महाराज.
He is very famous because as a king he had also many sons that became very powerful kings and warriors.
बहुत प्रसिद्ध थे क्योंकि उनके पुत्र सारे बहुत शक्तिशाली योद्धा थे.
Like Bhishma,
जैसे कि भीष्मदेव,
Bhishma Pitamaha, Dhritarashtra,
धृतराष्ट्र,
Pandu, and the Pandavas.
and Pandava.
So it says here that there are many versions of Santanu's birth, but to some extent he became exceptional, powerful king. He was raised under the guidance of the sages and trained up in dharma, political wisdom, and warfare.
शांतनु महाराज बहुत ही सुचरित्रवान थे क्योंकि वो सारे मुनि ऋषियों का तत्वावधान में थे.
So usually in the Vedic times, the kings, after some time, they will renounce their throne and they will go for more of dedicating themselves to understand and become renounced.
पौराणिक समय में ऐसे देखा जाता है कि राजाएं सारे अपने राज कार्य के पश्चात वो वानप्रस्थ के समय में सब कुछ त्याग करते हुए जाके जंगल में निवास करते थे.
So after his father Pratipa, he went to, usually they go to the forest for more dedication of their life to go back home, back to Godhead. Santanu became the king. He became the in charge of Hastinapur. Hastinapur now is the present Delhi.
सो ऐसे देखा जाता है जब प्रतीप महाराज जब जंगल में निवास करने के लिए गए तो शांतनु महाराज उनके राज्यभार को संभाले, जिसको हस्तिनापुर नाम से जाना जाता है, जो अभी दिल्ली के नाम से भी जाना जाता है.
And in those days, the Vedic times, the kings, they are righteous, meaning the kings are representative of the Supreme Lord. Their main duty is to protect the citizens and to make sure that the citizens become Krishna conscious.
तो वैदिक समय में राजा सारे भगवान के प्रतिनिधित्व तो माना जाता था और राजा प्रजा के रक्षा और प्रजा के कृष्ण भावना भावित होने का सुरक्षा प्रदान करते थे.
So it's very difficult to find those rulers nowadays who are exploiting the country or the citizens, and they don't care whether you become Krishna conscious or not.
मगर अभी इस प्रकार के राजनीतिज्ञ देखा नहीं जाता कि जो हमारा भक्ति को रक्षा करे और हमको रक्षा करे.
Can you find any ruler like that?
क्या ऐसे आप देखने के लिए पा रहे हो?
We're close. We have Modi. We try to.
हम जानते हैं कि मोदी के आसपास
Well, many of the states now are banning cow killing.
हम देखते हैं बहुत सारे राज्य में गोहत्या को बंद किया जा रहा है.
Is there any country in the world like that?
क्या ऐसे कोई विश्व में कोई देश है?
Not really.
देखा जाता है नहीं है.
We're trying here in India.
हम भारत में प्रयास कर रहे हैं.
So, this is the story goes. One day, while walking along the banks of the sacred Ganga river, Santanu encountered a celestial woman of extraordinary beauty and divine radiance.
तो एक बार शांतनु महाराज जब गंगा के किनारे चल रहे थे तो एक सुंदरी कन्या को देखे.
Who is this?
कौन है वो?
Ganga Devi
Ganga Devi.
herself. She is the goddess of the river Ganga, personified Ganga, appearing in the human form.
वो नदी गंगा देवी है जो मनुष्य के रूप से धारण करके आए थे.
So immediately he became captivated by her beauty and her charm, and immediately he proposed to get married.
तो
Marriage.
शांतनु महाराज तुरंत ही उनके प्रति बहुत आकर्षित हो गए, उनके रूप लावण्य के प्रति, और उनको बोलने लगे कि मैं तुमको विवाह करने के लिए चाहता हूँ.
So she agreed, yes.
और गंगा देवी बोलने लगी ठीक है.
But she proposed a very strange and seemingly cruel condition.
मगर वो एक शर्त रखे.
She says, you must never question my actions.
मगर तुमको एक ही काम करना पड़ेगा, मेरा कोई भी क्रिया के ऊपर तुम प्रश्न नहीं पूछ सकते।
No matter what I will do.
मैं क्या भी क्यों ना करूं,
And if you do, I will immediately leave you.
अगर आप मेरे को किसी दिन प्रश्न पूछ लिए तो फिर मैं आपको छोड़ के चला जाऊंगा।
So this is what it called love is blind.
इसलिए कहा जाता है प्रेम अंधा है।
So blinded by love, Santanu agreed.
तो प्रेम के द्वारा अंधे होते हुए शांतनु महाराज इसमें राजी हो गए।
And they lived very happily in Hastinapur.
एंड बहुत सुखी से हस्तिनापुर में जीने लगे।
But then, as soon as she conceived a child,
तत्पश्चात जब उनके पुत्र हुआ,
one by one she drowned their next 6 children as well.
गंगा देवी अपने एक एक पुत्र को बहा दिए पानी में।
Wow, this is amazing, huh?
ये बहुत आश्चर्य है ना।
Though grief-stricken, Santanu did not question her actions,
शांतनु महाराज कोई प्रश्न नहीं पूछ सकते उनकी क्रिया के
fearing
ऊपर।
that he might lose her forever.
और ये सोच रहे थे अगर प्रश्न पूछ लूं तो फिर गंगा देवी को हमेशा के लिए छोड़ना पड़ेगा।
No, you cannot do that nowadays. Otherwise, the wife will go to prison.
अभी के जमाने में हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि स्त्रियां नहीं तो भाग जाएंगे।
Or not just the wife, both of the husband and wife will go.
सिर्फ वो स्त्रियां नहीं और पुरुष भी ऐसे ही करते हैं, स्त्री स्वामी।
So, after this, his mind became tormented. He became so grief-stricken.
तो इसके पश्चात वो बहुत ज़्यादा,
And because of his love towards Ganga Devi, he was just silent because he promised that he will keep silent.
वो गंगा देवी के प्रेम में बसीभूत होने के कारण वो हमेशा नीरव रहते थे, शांत रहते थे।
So actually, these children were the 8 Vasus, celestial demigods who had been cursed to be born as mortals.
तो उनके जो 6 पुत्र थे वो 6 वसु थे।
How it goes? Because they had stolen the divine cow Nandini from the sage Vashishta.
तो वशिष्ठ ऋषि के जो गोमाता थी नंदिनी, उसको वो चोरी किए थे। इसके अभिशाप के कारण वो,
And as a punishment by Vashishta, they were cursed to take birth in human form of life.
अब वशिष्ठ ऋषि ने उनको अभिशाप दिए थे कि तुम लोग सारे मनुष्य लोक में जन्म लोगे।
But then, this is blessings in disguise, because as soon as they were drowned, immediately they also took birth and their existence continues.
तो एक प्रकार के उनके प्रति ये आशीर्वाद भी था, क्योंकि जैसे ही वो गंगा से डूब के देह त्याग हुआ तो तुरंत ही उनका उद्धार ही हो रहा था।
Usually this is the curse from the sages or from great personalities. It is for their own benefit.
तो जैसे कि देखा जाता है कि बड़े महात्मा लोगों का जो अभिशाप होता है वो एक प्रकार के आशीर्वाद के स्वरूप होता है।
Can you give any other examples?
क्या आप लोग और एक उदाहरण दे सकते हो? नारद मुनि।
Narad Muni, yeah. Nalakuvar and Manigriva. What else?
और कौन है?
Jai and Vijay. Yes,
Jai and
Jai and Vijay. Who else? Huh?
अहल्या।
Who is he?
The-
Oh, okay. You know what? Prabhupada says also that the parents of my disciples curse me not to be able to stay in one place more than 3 days.
प्रभुपाद जी ने भी ये कहा है कि मेरे जो शिष्य है उनके पिता लोग मेरे को अभिशाप दिए हैं कि एक जगह में नहीं रहने के लिए।
Yeah? And I'm transferring this curse to all of you
और मैं ये अभिशाप को सबको बांट दे रहा हूँ,
so that you'll not be able to stay in one place and keep on preaching Krishna consciousness.
तो फिर आप एक ही जगह में नहीं रहते हुए भगवान के नाम को प्रचार करते रहेंगे।
So be careful, grihastas, okay? Maybe someday you'll be keep
आप सतर्क
traveling as
रहिए
well.
गृहस्थ लोग।
So the 8th son, when Ganga bore her 8th son, Santanu could no longer restrain himself, and he says, "Why are you doing this to me?"
जब 8वें संतान को ऐसे बहा देना तो उन्होंने और अपने आप को रोक नहीं पा रहे और पूछने लगे क्यों ऐसे कर रहे हो।
And he stopped Ganga Devi and he demanded an explanation.
और उन्होंने गंगा देवी को जब रोके तो फिर उन्होंने बोलने लगे,
Says, "Since you have broken your vow, I must leave you now. But I will not harm this child. I will raise him in the celestial realms and return him to you when the time is right.
तो जब गंगा देवी ने बोलने लगे कि ठीक है, अब तुमने अपने प्रतिज्ञा को तोड़ दिया, इसलिए मैं आपसे जाने लगता हूँ, मगर ये जो पुत्र को मैं स्वर्गलोक में लेके जाऊंगा, वहाँ पे मैं इसको अच्छे से पढ़ा के.
And this child is none other than Devabrata, who is known later as Bhishma, Bhishma Pitamaha.
वो पुत्र और कोई नहीं थे, वो भीष्म पितामह थे.
He also took the vow of being celibate all of his life.
जिसने अपने आजीवन जीवन को पूर्ण ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत में बंधित किए थे.
So Santanu later on, he trained him up to be a fully grown warrior, very, very powerful.
और शांतनु महाराज उनके बाद में एक बहुत सुंदर योद्धा के रूप से,
Trained in scriptures and warfare, celestial knowledge.
उनको शास्त्र में और कई सारे जो अलग विद्याएं कलाएं में निपुण कराए थे.
So later on, Santanu, he was hunting. The Satriyas, they have this license to go hunting, to kill animals, so that they'll also be able to practice their skills in killing.
तो क्षत्रिय लोग पहले जमाने में वो शिकार करने के लिए जाते थे अपने शौर्य वीर्य के लिए.
And he met Satyavati, a beautiful maiden known as Matsyagandha,
उसके
one who smelled like fish.
तो उसके पश्चात उन्होंने सत्यवती को मिले, जो जिनके शरीर से मछली का गंध.
Matsya, fish, Gandha, fragrance.
Yes.
So she was a daughter of a celestial king and a fisherwoman, and she executed a divine aura. Very, very beautiful. Santanu fell deeply in love with her, and then again asked her father, Dasaraj, for her hand in marriage.
शांतनु महाराज उनसे और एक प्रेम संबंध हो गया, तो उनके पिताजी को वो इनके हाथ मांगने लगे विवाह करने के लिए.
So Dasaraj, he's ready to give his daughter Satyavati to Santanu in one condition.
तो
I will-
उनके
yes.
उनके पिता ने उनको विवाह में तो राजी हो गए, मगर एक शर्त रखे.
I will give my daughter in marriage to you only if her children will inherit the throne.
हाँ, वो उन्होंने एक शर्त रखे कि मेरे पुत्र को जरूर राज सिंहासन में राजगद्दी में बैठाया जाएगा.
Not your son Devabrata or Bhishma.
ऐसा नहीं कि आपके जो पूर्व पुत्र देवव्रत को आप राज्य सिंहासन दे दोगे.
So Santanu was heartbroken and he cannot betray Devabrata,
और वो शांतनु महाराज का हृदय टूटने लगा.
who's supposed to be the next. This is how it goes in those days. The eldest son will be the next heir to the throne.
जो कि राजगद्दी में बैठने के लिए जा रहे थे.
So, noticing his father's pain, he approached the fisherman and made the ultimate sacrifice, Bhishma.
तो इसके कारण पितामह भीष्म ने अपने पिता के कारण वो ये पूर्ण व्रत ले लिया ब्रह्मचर्य का.
So Bhishma took the vow, and this is his vow.
भीष्मदेव ने एक व्रत ले लिया, ये उनका व्रत है.
He would renounce the throne forever.
वो राजगद्दी को संपूर्ण रूप से त्याग दिए.
Very detached.
वो खूब वैराग्यपूर्ण जीवन जीने
He
लगे.
would remain celibate all of his life,
वो अपने जीवन को पूर्ण ब्रह्मचर्य परिणत कर दिए,
so that no child will challenge. So that no child will challenge Satyavati's lineage.
तो माता सत्यवती के जो संतान है तो राजगद्दी में बैठ सकते हैं, और उनके संतान कभी ना हो और इस राजगद्दी को स्वीकार करने के लिए.
So with this vow, Devabrata, he was given the name Bhishma, one who undertook a fearsome vow.
तो इसी व्रत के कारण देवव्रत का नाम भीष्म पड़ा.
So Santanu became so happy, and he granted a boon to Bhishma, saying that
हरि हरि.
you'll be able to have or choose your own time of death. Ichha is called Ichha Mrityu.
तो शांतनु महाराज इसमें खुशी होते हुए उनके एक वर दिए जो भीष्मदेव को प्राप्त हुआ था, वो है इच्छा मृत्यु.
Just imagine that if we are given chance or vow to choose the time where we're going to, or when we're able to die, that is very, very special, isn't it?
अगर हम लोगों को ऐसे वर प्राप्त होता तो बहुत स्वतंत्र हो जाता.
What will you choose before you die?
आप क्या चयन करेंगे मरने से पहले?
And he's very, Bhishma, he has this chivalry, virya raj. He has this chivalrous relationship, rasa, with
भीष्मदेव
Lord
वीर रस
Krishna.
के थे.
Vira, because he wants to see Lord Krishna in this mood of anger.
तो वो भगवान कृष्ण को जो क्रोध रूप से दर्शन करने के लिए चाहते थे.
So there are 5 major rasas: Santa, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and there are 7 minor relationships or rasa, mellows with Lord Krishna, and this is one of them.
तो 5 मुख्य रस है, जैसे आप लोग जानते हो, शांत, दास्य, साख्य, वात्सल्य और माधुर्य. उसी प्रकार के 7 गौण रस भी है, उनमें से वीर्य रस एक है.
Chivalrous. He wanted to see, even at the time of his death, Lord Krishna's lotus face.
तो वीर्य रस है, जबकि वो मरते वक्त भी भगवान कृष्ण के मुख चंद्र को देखने के लिए चाह रहे थे.
So, Santanu, later on, he married Satyavati and had 2 sons, Chindraganda and Vichitravirya.
तो शांतनु महाराज जो मत्स्यगंधा को विवाह किए, तो उनमें से 2 पुत्र हुआ.
So, as we can see from Santanu, many other heroic Kshatriyas, very powerful warriors, came from his lineage.
तो हम देखते हैं शांतनु महाराज के वंशज में कई प्रकार के शौर्यवीर्य आए.
And everything according to the divine plan of Lord Krishna, Santanu unknowingly became an instrument in Lord Vishnu's plan to manifest the events of the Mahabharata.
तो हम देखते हैं भगवान कृष्ण के इच्छा के क्रम से शांतनु महाराज के वंशज में महाभारत युद्ध हुआ.
So in conclusion, Santanu was a great king.
सारांश में ये समझते कि शांतनु महाराज एक बहुत बड़े राजा थे.
His love, sacrifices, and dilemmas created the foundation for one of the greatest epics in the history, Mahabharata.
उनके प्रेम, उनके जीवन चरित्र एक महान गाथा को गाता है जो महाभारत के रूप से जाना जाता है.
From him we learn about Dharma, that means the actions or Dharma. Ultimately, Dharma is Jaiva Dharma, surrender or service
तो
to the Supreme Lord.
उनके जीवन में हम सीखते हैं कि धर्म के विषय में, धर्म है कि शरणागति, वो भगवान के प्रति किस प्रकार शरणागत थे.
We learn from Santanu Maharaj how we will let the divine arrangement take place and accept whatever comes to us.
तो हम देखते हैं कि हमारे जीवन में कुछ भी आए वो भगवान के इच्छा के क्रम से हो. ये शांतनु महाराज सीखते हैं.
Santanu Maharaj ke
जय.
is very special. Without Santanu, there is no Mahabharata.
अगर शांतनु महाराज नहीं होते तो महाभारत नहीं होता.
No Mahabharata, no Bhagavad Gita.
न महाभारत, अगर महाभारत नहीं होता तो भगवत गीता भी नहीं होता.
No Bhagavad Gita, we will not be here today.
अगर भगवत गीता नहीं होता तो हम लोग इधर नहीं होते.
We will be somewhere else in oblivion.
हम और कहीं होते जहाँ पर माया में ही होते.
Srila Prabhupada ke.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
So we stop here. Any question?
क्या किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? हम यहाँ पर समाप्त रख रहे हैं.
I know it's like in the middle of the afternoon now, and everyone is like.
मैं जानता हूँ ये मध्याह्न हो गया, सब लोग सो रहे हैं.
Yes. Question here.
Thank you, Maharaj, for a wonderful class. Maharaj, so the deities that are here, they are of Shantanu Maharaj? No, Lord.
He will reply to you. Please.
Yes. Actually, in Vraj, not only that you see that some Goswamis has established some big Vraj, But that times even the Pandavas and his dynasty also, they knows the Vraj Mandal is the very famous place of the Lord. This is not, we can't just think that after Krishna came here, the Vraj is here. No, before that also Vraj was here. And some great personalities, they knows that where Krishna will do his Leela. Then Santanu Maharaj came here and did some tapasya, then he go back to Godhead.
Yes. All the holy places that you will find outside of Braj, the origin of them is here in Braj.
तो जितने सारे हम पवित्र तीर्थों को बाहर में दर्शन करते हैं, उनका जो मूल स्वरूप है ब्रजमंडल में है.
Even the Ganga Sagar, where we came, that is the original.
यहाँ तक कि हमने गंगा सागर को जो दर्शन किए, जो ओरिजिनल है, माने जो मुख्य रूप से है, वो इधर है.
Adi Badrinath, all of those. You don't have to go anywhere else. Once you are in Vrindavan, you've been there, done that.
अगर आप
This is
वृंदावन
it.
अगर आप वृंदावन आ गए तो आपको और कहीं जाने का नहीं, सारे तीर्थ इधर ही है.
Even says one step. Every step here is like you're traveling to all the holy tirthas, all the holy places in the universe.
यहाँ तक कि कहा गया, आपके एक चरण कमल जहाँ पे रखते हो, पूरे ब्रह्मांड के समस्त पवित्र तीर्थ उधर निवास कर जाते हैं.
That means we've been to all of those places already, and we came up here. This is it. This is the end of our journey, being in Vrindavan.
इसका अर्थ है कि आपने सारे तीर्थ को भ्रमण करने का जो फल है, वो वृंदावन आने का है.
Nowhere else to go, but you have to go back to your place for preaching.
आपको कहीं जाने का नहीं, मगर एक चीज जाना है जहाँ पर आपको प्रचार करना चाहिए.
As Prabhupada says, work now, samadhi later.
जैसे कि प्रभुपाद कहते हैं कि अभी सेवा करो और समाधि बाद में लेना.
That's work means spreading Krishna consciousness.
और ये कार्य मतलब है कि भगवान के नाम कीर्तन
And
इत्यादि को प्रचार
ultimately
करना.
reside in Vrindavan at the fag end of your life, to relish Vrindavan.
और सारांश रूप से आप वृंदावन में ही निवास कर रहे हो जब प्रचार कर रहे हो.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So, further announcement?
Yes. So abhi, so you can give some little donation, because in Braj you see that is very far from the other places. So you can give your donation. In donation box is there. So अभी हम सब लोगों को ये अनुरोध करते हैं कि अपने अपने जो जो दान है, दान बॉक्स में दे, क्योंकि ये देख रहे हो मंदिर सारे जन समूह से थोड़ा दूरी है. तो आप लोग इधर से कुछ कुछ सेवा करते हुए जाएंगे यहाँ पे, तो आप सब लोगों को शांतनु बिहारी का दर्शन करके तो आप लोग अपने अपने दान दे के फिर हम बस में या टेम्पो ट्रैवलर में बैठेंगे, तो हम अभी वृंदावन प्रस्थान करेंगे. तो कुछ लोगों का ये कंप्लेन था कि हम हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन नहीं हो रहा है, मगर हम प्रयास करेंगे कि अगर अलग से बैठ के हिंदी हो जाए. अगर ना हो तो महाराज जब भी रहेंगे तो हम महाराज के बाद हम हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन कर देंगे. ओके. नो टुमारो, एक्चुअली कल हम आप लोगों को एक फॉर्म दे देंगे. टुमारो विल गिव यू वन फॉर्म, सो यू हैव टू फिल अप दैट. सो विल टेक वन एग्जाम the middle of the days, so we'll take your contact and all these things. Then our whole management team, there is one team is known as 50th year anniversary core committee. Our committee is there, so we'll the whole team will come one day and they will reward you on your prize like this. And also we want to introduce our volunteers. Although there is so many select point is there, so you can feedback to our team or me, myself or Maharaj, then we can improve that service as good as possible.
Prabhuji, where are we going tomorrow?